Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Herndon. The preliminary hearings in Texas County, Oklahoma are over. And when it's all said and done, Tiffany Adams and Cole Twombly waived their prelims. Cora Twombly and Paul Grice agreed to plea deals. And Tad Cullum is bound over for trial. KSN's Julia Thatcher was the only Kansas reporter in the courtroom. She has our continuing coverage.
The day in court started with Tad Cullum's attorneys cross-examining Paul Grice in his testimony. He had said he wasn't sure if Jillian Kelly was already dead inside of the trailer when he stabbed her. And so the debate is over who ultimately killed Jillian Kelly. He did admit to stabbing her and to killing Veronica Butler, but he won't say for sure or take responsibility for killing Jillian Kelly. I talked to family members of Veronica Butler, and they said they were surprised that Tad Cullum's attorneys are trying to pin both murders on Paul Grice, but they said they understand because that is their job. We also heard from Jamie Beasley today. He is the owner of the property where Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly were found. He said that Tiffany Adams and Tad Cullum came to him before the murders and asked about doing work on the property, taking trees and burying them. There was a type of exchange there. However, Jamie Beasley said the next day, the morning of the murders, he got home early in the morning and had noticed when he woke up that the work they had said they would do, moving the trees and moving a pile of concrete, had not been done. He did say it appeared that some items from the concrete pile had been moved. He said he had different conversations with Tad Cullum after that, and he said his fear continued to grow over what Tad Cullum had done on that property. He said he was worried to go to investigators about who might find out that he was talking. He said he's a single dad of two, and he was worried for his two boys. Ultimately, he decided to wait until investigators came to talk to him. I also, again, had a chance to talk to the family of Veronica Butler, and the aunt to Veronica Butler had shared with me that the state asked how they felt about the death penalty, specifically for Tiffany Adams and Tad Cullum. She said they discussed it and talked about it, but ultimately decided that it was an easy out and that they are against the death penalty for Tiffany Adams and Tad Cullum. Two cell phones found at the bottom of what Cora Twombly describes as an incinerator. She mentioned it in her testimony on Tuesday. OSBI agents said they went to the area of what she was describing and found the phones. They also say that one of those cell phones is now matched to one of the burner phones that Tiffany Adams bought before the murders. Cora Twombly described getting the phones, again, before those murders, and stun guns. OSBI agents also described clothing found in the hole where Jillian Kelly and Veronica Butler were dug up, including a jacket that Paul Grice described wearing. Paul continued his testimony today. He revealed Tuesday that he took a plea deal today. He said the only thing discussed as part of that deal is that the death penalty would be taken off the table. Being questioned by Tad Cullum's attorneys, they said that Paul Grice was trying to save his own skin. He replied by saying, "My skin is not worth saving." Paul Grice said he was brainwashed to believe evil. He said Tiffany Adams and Tad Cullum talked about allegations of her grandchildren being abused by a family member of Veronica Butler. However, he said he never had any proof. There is back and forth about what kind of proof there may be, including the DA saying any files surrounding those allegations would be sealed because the people involved are children. Paul also testified that he told his wife about what happened after the murders. He said her not facing charges is not part of his plea agreement. Paul also admitted to perjuring himself, lying under oath, in 2 interviews with OSBI, but said his testimony on Tuesday and Wednesday is the truth. Tad Cullum's attorneys cited a previous interview that Paul did with OSBI where he said that Veronica, quote, smelled evil and that he had no remorse. We also learned a bit more about why Paul Grice was not arrested with the others. Paul said in April he willingly met with law enforcement at the Four Corners, and after being confronted with forensic DNA and told his name was being thrown around, he confessed. However, there was not a warrant for his arrest. He was allowed to go home and gave investigators his word that if a warrant was issued, he would come back and turn himself in, which he did. Paul Grice said he took the plea deal to get off the death penalty and to bring closure to the families. He said when he started attacking Veronica, a door closed in his brain and he knew it was wrong, but that he was too far in to stop. Citing the medical examiner's report in the preliminary hearings, attorneys said that Veronica was stabbed about 30 times. Jillian Kelly stabbed with the same knife about 16 times. Coming up tonight at 10, I'll have a look at key pieces of testimony from the past 2 days in the preliminary hearings. Here for you in Guyman, Oklahoma, Julia Thatcher, KSN News 3.